Hey everyone, welcome back. Tonight is Wednesday night, hump day, and well, we got over some more humps. Tonight's goal was to get the wedge system made for the front apron of the workbench, and did I get it done? So I came home, I took the rear apron and top out of clamps. I unbolted it. I flipped it back up on in. And oh, by the way, thank God I put napkins or paper towels up in to save my wedges. If not, glue would have gotten right down in there. So be careful when you do it. Make sure you do the same thing. Something else, when I pulled it apart, make sure that when you go to take the apron and slab combo, now that they're glued up as one unit, once you take that off, or when you go to take it off, unbolt it, remove the wedges, and then just simply take a dead blow and knock the legs free, because there's gonna be a little bit of glue or whatnot left in there. So what I did was I did that. I unbolted it, took the wedges out, and smacked the legs in. Took an old chisel, got all the glue and everything off of everything, sanded down where the glue had bonded with the legs and whatnot, where I didn't want it. And then I put it back on, bolted it back down, finger tight, drove the wedges in, and snugged the bolts up just a little bit. So that took in itself about an hour. But then I'm like, okay, well, my goal tonight was still to make the wedges. So let's start getting done something in that arena. So it is now 5 minutes to 10. I usually stop at 8 so that I can do all my nightly things, take a shower, eat dinner, all that kind of stuff, and still be in bed a decent hour. I got to get up at 4 every morning, so whatever. And I didn't. It's still not quite time for me to go to bed, so I made it all right there. But I did, and it took a little bit, and obviously longer than I wanted it to, but this is the front apron. So obviously you already knew the apron was done. The housing dados were chopped, and got these suckers made up. They are perfectly matched to each one of the dado housings. And then I made these, obviously, and then, there's a lot more that goes into this. You have to cut these out of stock, rough. Then you got to plane it down to where it's this shape on all 6 sides. and then make sure it's nice and flush with the apron and everything. And then you got to do these. You got to make these. Well, these were pretty easy. Obviously, I just took one of the old ones off, made a template from it, cut it rough, planed it 4 square, and got everything. All these pieces are nice and sanded down, smooth, great feel to the touch, amazing, like usual. Then I just centered 3/4 off of the edge and 3/4 in, since that was center. Anyway, drilled the hole, countersunk it, pre-drilled the apron, and screwed them in. Sounds so easy and so fast, but it's not. It took me relatively about 3.5 hours to do the front, to finish up the front and get it all cleaned up and everything and put it back on. And then to make these 2 wedges and these keepers and drill the holes and all that kind of stuff. And smooth them all out and everything like that. So, actually, let me make sure they're the right ones. Yep. And then nice and smooth, flush, beautiful. And they snap right into place. So, did I meet my goal? Yes, I did. Feels great, and I have, so I'm still pretty proud of these guys. Those are some big sons of bitches. And then I have, right now, I have one bar clamp that just goes across on both sides of the bench. And they're like, they're finger tight, just enough to keep them. And I have clamps down here too at the bottom, just to keep it from going haywire on me until I can get it glued up. And tomorrow night I will drill the 2 bolt holes. I will drill the 2 bolt holes and glue up the other. I'll glue up the front slab. Let it dry overnight. Well, it'll be drying for 24 hours. I'll get off Friday from work, fit up the wellboard, and start mounting my vices. Do have some bad news, sort of. I told you before, but I have 2 vices. One vise I bought. It's already restored. It's already fully restored and ready to be installed. The second vise was still all rusty and needed to be restored. So I went to go pound the pin that holds the handle onto the screw, and I got a little bit. I tried to press it through with a press, and it just wasn't budging. So I did what everybody does, and I had a punch, and I started driving the pin through. Well, the punch that I was using was like just a hair smaller than the pin, which is what you want, but I popped out on one of my swings, and when I drove the hammer, and when I hit it with the hammer the next time, the punch happened to be, and it was a flat-headed punch, or drift, whatever you want to call it. It was sitting on the casting, the little T casting that holds the handle, and yes, it cracked. It cracked it because I was wailing on this thing, because the pin was frozen solid in that thing. The pin did. I ended up being able to drive it out. I didn't have to drill it out, which is what I should have done to begin with, was just drill it out, because the pin's ruined. I'll have to machine a new pin. But so that's cracked, and so I saved it to be able to take measurements off of it, and I'll just simply use it to machine another one. I'm a machinist, so so that's not the end of the world for me. The vices I have are old, and I highly doubt they sell just that one part. So good thing I'm a machinist and I can just make another one. I haven't decided what I'm going to make it out of, either brass or... I don't know if brass or aluminum would be... I mean, it's made out of cast steel, so, or cast iron, so it's... I don't know. I don't want it... I'm not going to make it out of steel. If I make it out of steel, it'll be stainless steel, but why have the weight there if I don't need it? I'm going to make one probably out of aluminum or brass. Aluminum would be the lightweight option, obviously. I just don't know how it's going to wear with torque being applied to it. I don't think it would be... I'm not talking in 6 months. I'm talking 10 years from now. What is it going to look like? But I think I'm going to go ahead and will it stand up to the torque without breaking? I mean, I could make it a little beefier than what the original design was, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it out of aluminum. Make it super easy to machine, and I'll be able to polish it up real nice if I want to do that. Maybe I'll just sandblast it. And while we're talking about it, I got the rest of the vise disassembled, and I got it into the blast cabinet, and I'm almost done blasting all the parts. Everything's coming out nice and clean. One thing that I do wish, the guide rods, the pipe for the guide pipes. I don't want to take them off of the casting because of the actual main body or the movable jaw. I don't want to drive those pins out because I don't want to. I'm afraid I'll run into the same problem I did with the handle. So I left those in there, but because I left them in there, I don't know, I may decide to take them out, but I left them in there, and I wanted to be able to just turn them between centers and not turn them, but polish them up on a lathe. But it looks like that's going to be not happening. So I'm going to have that blast finish and feel. So I got that going, and I am about 90% done with my Maker's Mark too. So I've been killing it at work during lunch, and I cheat a little bit during the day, but only a little bit. But yeah, so bench is coming together nicely. Getting a lot of other stuff done. The Maker's Mark. The other second tail vise is almost all blasted. It'll only take me, once I get down to it, it'll take me, one day to, well, it depends on how much time I have, but it'll only take me a few hours to machine a new handle for it. And that'll be a done deal too. So glad, I am so stoked that like the wedge system's done. It's awesome, and it's so nice. It's such an awesome design. I mean, it's beautiful. Now, I mean, if you didn't catch the beginning, this wedge system, the more this bench, now this bench is so solid. I've never had such a solid bench before, and it's not even, I don't even have the front slab on it yet. But I mean, this bench doesn't go anywhere. But once it like settles in, the minute racking that I probably won't even feel, but it's happening. With that racking, that wedge system will you just drive it, and it's going to the more you rack it, the more those wedges are going to fall into their place. And I guess it'd probably be good to like kind of sort of butter up, not butter up, but I don't know, put some beeswax or something on those wedges to let them slide a little easier. But they'll drive, gravity will take them down deeper over the years. And so the more I rack it, the tighter it gets. And the meatier, more solid the bench becomes, which is awesome. And these keepers, those are nice, easy, and thank God, because it's already getting late, and I really shouldn't even be videoing. I should be in the shower right now. But 2 holes, I'm going to glue up tomorrow night, fit the wellboard on Friday, and start shopping out for the vises. I can't think of anything I'm forgetting either. That's about it. So it's a good update. And let me know what you think of the build, of the progress. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And subscribe if you're enjoying it and you want to see the next video. And I'll see you then. Friends and family, I love you. Everybody else, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.